Hey, good morning, everybody. And I should have gone to sleep. I'm a little dragging this morning, but we finished. Well, I'm working on finished editing the. I took the studio camera with me to Gates of Faith last night, so that's what I'm editing right now. Don't think it'll be done yet. Hopefully by the time I get back, it'll be posted later this afternoon. But we are getting ready to head over to Greater Faith to try and finish. My main goal today is to try and finish up wiring and fixing all of the jacks in the fellowship hall. I need to go over to Lowe's and get myself an auger, or I don't know what the proper term of it is. It's like just a long drill bit so that I can go up through the holes and go through that seal plate, because coming through the ceiling, I can't get to it because the roof is angled down. So want to get over there so I can widen that hole and then re-pull all of the cables through there, and then mount all the TVs. And I got extra cables to fit the ones that we had to cut because of how they had those zip tied and wrapped up behind the TV. But that's the goal for today, as well as while I'm up there, chase that line that I didn't get a chance to see where it goes. I really feel it goes right back to that back TV. So what I'm gonna need to do is repurpose, if that cable that goes to the back wall is the one that's feeding from the old camera directly into the fellowship hall, then we need to extend that cable back to the SDI distribution, and then run another cable, a new cable from the ATEM Television Studio HD to that back camera. And then the only other line that we need to do is we need to run internet there. Well, honestly, while I'm doing that, I'm not gonna be able to do internet because I ran out of cable. So I just ordered another 2,000 feet of Cat 6 that's supposed to be here tomorrow. So I'll probably pull a pull string, maybe 3 pull strings at the same time, and hopefully that will make it easier to pull the cable in the future. So I don't know what it is. I woke up a little congested this morning. So that's what all that is. So anyway, let me, my brother-in-law, I just sent him the video because he's the one that does the editing there at his church. And I sent him the recording because he was streaming it, but then I was recording it. And then also I'm probably gonna, once I get that other box of cable, they're running Wi-Fi there in the building that they were recording. So it just annoyed me to no end. So while Bible study was going on, I was able to chase the line to an old telephone jack that's not being used. And once I get some of that extra cable, we're gonna run and wire up a jack there in that part of the building, and maybe others. And I'm probably going to come in there once I get approval. I'm going to redo their whole network because Fios, Verizon, whoever they did a horrible job there, putting extenders all over the place, and it doesn't help anything. So we're going to try and maybe unify them, or at least put in a 16 to 24 port switch there instead of having these one-off switches, 5-port switches all over the place. We just put a 24-port switch, run the wires to where they need to go, and then we're good to go. So anyway, let me get over here to Lowe's. And then also we're going back to my church. Ooh, excuse me. At 3, because I think we're starting to move to get our projectors. So yay. So anyway, I'm dressed appropriately today so that I can I can climb all over the place. Maybe I can see if there's some knee pads or something like that at Lowe's, since I gotta climb over top of the ceiling joists and stuff like that. So let me get some water. But anyway, let's go over to Lowe's and then to Greater Works. All right, folks, so we got a bunch of these. Hopefully this is enough to do 4 of these and Got another 4 here. So that's gonna, so pretty much what I'm ended up having to do, I might have to go get some more, but it's gonna be one to replace each one of the jacks where the TV was. And then because I can't get over here, and the tool I was trying to get from Lowe's, nobody knew what I was talking about because most likely I was calling it the wrong thing, but going through the aisles, I didn't see it either. I'm gonna make another hole close up here, cover that up, and make it wide enough for me to have a paddle bit to widen the hole and run the cables up. I need to test to make sure there's no firewalls in here, because then we'll be doing the exact same thing all over again. But that's what we're gonna plan on doing. All right, folks, I did not record this because it took a lot longer than I thought. But we got this here. I had to make that a little bit wider right there. And then we were able to get everything up. And I was able to pull the cable all the way over here with Mr. Mike's assistant. So we got it right there. I had to widen up the hole a little bit so we can, it's starting to get kind of clamped up in there. So we got it. So I'm about ready to terminate. I think what I'm gonna do is widen that and make that a double gang. But as long as there's not a stud to the right of that, I'll be able to do that. And then I'm gonna terminate everything here because we're gonna have 4, 5 Ethernet jacks, as well as 6. Yeah, 6 SDI connections. So that's why I'm gonna double that up. So let me finish terminating the jacks here for the TV, make sure everything works, and then we'll try and move on to the next one. I'm gonna have to come in and figure out what I'm gonna do to cover that strip up. And that's mainly why I'm gonna hang the TV to see how much it gets covered up. All right, so we got a signal here. Gotta clean up the wires, but I think that's it. I don't know where the other SDI to HDMI converter is to bring the signal in from the PTZ camera. I might need to just use one just to make sure an image shows up here. I mean, but obviously we're getting something if we're getting the multi-view from the ATEM. So yeah, let me pull this other one over here, plug it in and make sure we get an image from that, and then we'll go from there. All right, there we go. So I'm back up here. I know I'm short, so I don't know if you'll be able to see me on there. But all right, what I want to do is get over and knock out the other stuff with the computer and things like that over there, because I think that'll be easy. And then once that's done, that's done. So let me go ahead and do that and then see how far we can get with over here. All right, so I got the other computer set up in the other room, and I was just pretty much just talking to Mr. Hargris, saying that instead of doing all of the stuff like we did with here with the holes, we're just gonna get some conduit and run our own cables directly up, just like we did with the PTZ, because it's just starting to become a hassle to try and fish through here. Then we got the security light that we might hit electrical. So the idea is just run a conduit right on that side, straight up, make a hole right in the ceiling that lines up with where the conduit's gonna be, and then we're away from everything and we'll be done. So I'm gonna clip all this stuff off here, close those up with the flat plates that we have, and then go from there. That one, this TV is the one that's gonna stay because obviously it's working. There's no point in pulling that stuff down and do it all over again. But I'm over here because we are going back in the attic because we need to find out where the cable is that's going here. I also need to find if I can get over to where the back PTZ is and run some cable for that. And I don't have to run the Ethernet cable back because I see what a router is. So we're gonna have to probably put a jack on the wall from the router run those lines up, 4 lines up. And while I'm doing it, I might as well run a hard line over here instead of the Wi-Fi that they have over here. And we will go from there. All right, so I think I found my cables. That black line right there is the coax that's going all the way back to the other part of the building. So we got a lot of lines right there. But then we have lines right here. I don't know which one is which, but we will find out. If I pull this one here. See how far I can get with that. But then also, not that I'm excited about it, but we can walk over there. That's the back of the sanctuary. So what we're gonna do is the secretary's office is over there somewhere. That's the air conditioning vent. My shadow is in the way. Air conditioning vent over there. So we got to puncture a hole up, and we'll run about 4 cables up. Since we see the line for the coax over there, we're going to run another Cat 6 line directly over there, so we'll have a hardwired internet connection over there. Hey, be careful, watch your step. As well as run the other cables back. And the good thing is, we just got to run one Ethernet cable there. Shirt got caught. And because these cameras, well, I was getting ready to say I don't need to run the camera all the way back. And technically, I really don't. It's an electrical outlet right there. So I could just connect the camera so that we got an Ethernet connection, and then there's a power plug right there, and just plug it in the camera right there. And somebody just has to be mindful to turn the power off for the camera. I think that would be the easier approach. I mean, I'm gonna have to pull a cable anyway that's going all the way back. So we'll see. All right, so this is like sorting out a puzzle. We didn't know what this gray line that's going up here is, and it was connected to the board. So what it was connected to the audio out of the system, and it was running all the way back to this camera. And so we're doing a line in into this, and then the SDI out was going out to the distribution in the other building. So that gray line goes all the way back, and that was providing audio. So that allows us to know that we have a pull string that can go all the way from here. Hopefully it doesn't snag. We're gonna pull 2 RG6 cables for the bridge that's going back to the fellowship hall. And then it's also gonna be the other cable that goes to the camera. And then it's gonna also feed 2 Cat 6 cables that are gonna go to the main router. And since we're going to be doing it from here, it's going to go from here to the camera. So when we flip everything off here, it turns off everything. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole in the floor under one of these so that the power cables to the TV are going to go up under here. And then we can have that tied into the power that's going to all the sound stuff up under here already. Yeah, so I just need to do my stud finder, and then we pop a hole, do a 1-inch. That should be wide enough to go through the power, and then we go from there. I would pull the cables, but I have enough cable, RG6 cable. I don't have enough for the Cat 6. So like I said, that should be here today or Saturday, and that would be enough for Baltimore as well too. So we'll go from there. All right, folks, so like I said, trying to make a mental note of everything that's needed here. Cleaned up here. I put plates on all of the jacks that we originally were going to use, but we're not. So those have all been capped off right there. I got enough cable here, but I ran out in the ceiling for this side. So I'm thinking about putting a box up in the ceiling and just dropping the cables down that wall, and then all I got to do is pull the cable from here, plug it into the box, and then that's what will be there. A little leery of that, but that's what the stuff is for. I'm gonna do the same thing here, put a hole up there, run a conduit. So I need 4 conduits to run up there. 3, excuse me, because that wall we're not using one. Another one right here. Got all the cables on the floor to do that. And then I saw where that cable is. That runs over here. I need to get a colored RJ45. Normally the ones I use are blue, but that way we can differentiate which one is which. So those are going through a pass-through. We're gonna have jacks on here. Like I said, all of these are blue, but I'm gonna have one that's gonna be for the internet, maybe orange or something like that. The one that sends power to the camera will be something, a different color. Then all the blue ones will be the Ori feed to the TVs. And then these are just pass-throughs, so we're not gonna use a plate at all, and they just connect directly to the box, which would be really nice if I could just use the existing cable. Having a thought here. Why don't you just use the same cable, AJ? And you just pull the Ethernet cable. Then you don't need to run nothing. See what happens when your plan gets changed? You get all discombobulated. So yeah, Mike, I think, thankfully didn't cut those cables. Might just use those cables that are already there. Since those are a straight shot, re-terminate them. That would be the one that feeds from the sanctuary, and then the only thing I'm really running up is the Ethernet. Yeah. You ever go so far down the rabbit hole then you realize, like, I was on the wrong path. So, oh gosh. So anyway, we got the computers and everything set up in the sanctuary. Got a plan of what we're gonna do to get all the wiring here. I canceled the wires because the 2,000 feet of Ethernet cable, I think I told that, because they got delayed. So I ordered some other ones that will be here Saturday. So be here Monday to try and fish and fix all of this. And if we go in that path, then I'll just use, so all them plates I just took down, I had to put right back. Joy. Oh well. At least we know where we're at. So anyway, if y'all like this stuff and see how we figuring this out while we go, stand by for the next episode of Can We Fix This Stuff or whatever, or installing a new video system here. So the good thing is, I mean, we got it working here. It's just the aesthetics, and that's what changes depending on how you can get to wherever. So, oh well, we'll see y'all in the next video, folks. Later.